I was wondering if I should tell this story. I've been holding it in my back pocket for a couple of weeks now. I just don't know what to make of it. It's just mind-boggling. Bill Bengen is the creator of the 4% rule. That's not what he called it, but that's what it was eventually known as. And he wanted to know what the safe withdrawal rate was for an investment portfolio to last at least 30 years, split up between 50% large cap stocks and 50% bonds. He looked over a number of 30-year rolling periods to see what percentage can you withdraw after year one, and then adjust that withdrawal rate in subsequent years by inflation so that the money in the pot lasts 30 years minimum. He came out to the number of 4%. You can withdraw 4% of the value of the portfolio. That's 50% equities, 50% bonds. 4% in the first year, adjust the second, third, and subsequent years by inflation, and that money should last 30 years. Almost a decade ago, he adjusted that rule, which he posted on Reddit. He said the quote 4% rule is actually the 4.5% rule. I modified it some years ago on the basis of new research. The 4.5% is the percentage you could safely withdraw from a tax-advantaged portfolio in the first year of retirement with the expectation you would live for 30 years in retirement. Quote, after the first year, you throw away the 4.5% rule and just increase the dollar amount of your withdrawals each year by the last year's inflation rate. That's not the surprising thing, but that's actually good news for those who are looking to retire because you can withdraw more money and be confident, at least by Bill Bengen's research, that the money will last for 3 decades. This is the part that blows my mind, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to make a video about it, but I feel that it's important to know because it teaches an important lesson. Remember, this is a guy that looked at a number of rolling 30-year periods on a 50-50 portfolio and determined the safe withdrawal rate, that you won't run out of money through recessions, depressions, world wars. The money would technically last. But then he sells off his portfolio and goes into cash, succumbing to fear and panic himself. Quote, is it time to move to cash? The father of the 4% rule did. This happened in 2022 when markets officially went into bear territory, and then he sold off his portfolio. Just blew my mind. Bengen disclosed that he'd moved his own personal portfolio to 20% stocks, 10% bonds, and the remaining 70% to cash during a bear market, when prices are cheapest. This guy's looked at downturns for the last century and moved 70% to cash. Since then, the stock market has boomed, making a ton of money for people who didn't time the market, but spent time in the market. It's just another lesson. Don't succumb to fear. When prices are lowest is your opportunity. It is not a time to panic. When prices are lowest, you should be taking advantage, not running away. Time in the market beats timing the market. And even though past performance is not indicative of future results, it's never different this time. Just not. I have seen this happen time and time again. Super smart investors know the research, know the numbers, still succumb to panic. There was a dividend investor that I was interviewed along with back in the 90s. Totally committed to the strategy. Then the credit crisis hit, they sold off. Can't explain it. I have a lot of respect for Bill Bengen and what he's done for the industry and figuring out the 4% rule and adjusted 4.5% withdrawal rule. But this is just an unfortunate turn of events. Hopefully he's learned his lesson and he's made adjustments to his portfolio. Learn the lessons about money, but make sure you build up your financial temperament. Download my free newsletter linked off the bio. Good luck. Take care.